My Lords, in general, we welcome this statutory instrument. We welcome the prospect of a more rational organisation of airspace. Who could do otherwise? But there are very considerable problems, and the Minister needs probing, I think, on some of them. Now, I want to say that I'm grateful to my noble friend, Lady Foster of Oxton, who is not in her place because she is detained on a train that has been diverted and delayed her. But she would have been here, and as noble lords will know, during her many years in the European Parliament, she worked on all of the European single sky legislation. So she has actually supplied me with some questions, and some of my speeches has been helped by her, so I want to acknowledge that. Because it's been very useful what she's actually said. The first question, I suppose, has to go to cost. How much extra will the airlines have to pay over and above their current payments for air traffic control services? Because they're going to be recharged for this. And is it going to be a smooth sum, or is it going to be lumpy and go up and down as costs are incurred? Now, the Minister says it will be small, but and he says, indeed, they might save money in the long term once it's all done. But there are so many things, the government says it's going to be small and it will save you money in the long term, and it never does save you money in the long term. So I wonder if we can be a bit more precise than simply saying small, and give us a better clue, perhaps as a percentage of what they currently pay, what it's going to be. Another question, and here I refer to the comments by Noble Baroness Lady Pigeon, is to do with the timescale for achieving this. It looks as though it's going to take years, not simply because of complexity, and we grant that the work will be complex, but also if one looks to page 5 of the explanatory notes that accompany the statutory instrument, and the number of stages that have to be gone through to achieve a CAA decision on airspace change. This could be taking many, many years to do the work. So can the noble Lord give an estimate of how long it might be before, even for the London area, we see these changes being brought into effect? Just returning to charges for a moment, will foreign carriers be asked that enter UK airspace be asked to pay towards this? And if so, how are they going to be charged? And then there's the very big question, how are these changes going to be integrated with neighbouring airspace, air traffic control arrangements, particularly the European single sky arrangements? Do they need to be, perhaps because they're en route, it might be that they're wholly within domestic airspace and therefore integration isn't needed? But some words from the Minister on that would also be very helpful when he comes to reply. There's another question about skills. I don't doubt for a moment that many of the people involved in airspace planning in the UK are very skillful, but the UK Research and Innovation Future Flight Challenge said that the skills and knowledge needed for the airspace designers for any ACPs associated with enabling new airspace users will likely be different to the airport-based changes that we're accustomed to. And so where are the skills going to come from? Can we be guaranteed that we will have the right skills, the right people in place to do this work in a timely fashion? And finally, I wanted to come to build on some remarks made, not quite finally, but I wanted to come next to build on some remarks made by my noble friend Lord Kirkhope of Harrogate, who referred to general aviation and smaller airports. He didn't explicitly refer to smaller airports, but I'd like to. It's very easy with this new all singing, all dancing powerful body that's going to be setting these new rules for flights, to ignore the needs and the particular needs of smaller airports. And I note that in the consultation so far, there have been some very worried remarks from airports such as Biggin Hill and Farnborough about how their interests are going to be looked after as this work proceeds. And again, some consolation from the Minister on that would be very helpful. Finally, I want to come to the public. Any change in flight paths can have a devastating effect on communities who live under those flight paths, particularly if they are close to an airport. And the question of public engagement by NERL as they proceed with this work is going to be absolutely crucial to its successful implementation. And I would like to hear the Noble Lord say that there will be a plan from the outset for transparent public engagement on the proposed changes and the possible changes, so that communities, local authorities, communities and their representatives can be fully engaged. Now, the Noble Lord may say that could make things very difficult to get the work done. But my view is that you have a choice. You can either tackle this problem early on and hope to deal with it as you proceed, or you can proceed in relative silence and lack of transparency and run into a massive problem at the end, a problem that might, in various locations, be so powerful that it results in making the changes politically unimplementable. So I would like to hear about the public engagement strategy because of the powerful effect that these changes might have on local communities. Otherwise, in general, if the government can pull this off, it will take many, many years, but if the government can pull it off, it will improve things. But there is a great danger, in my view, that it is actually all going to go somewhere along the line horribly wrong.